Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to make a start on the 2019 Grade 2 Paper C. So if you turn with me to page 11, we can have a look at that together. And I always say, do have a go of this on your own. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. You'll always learn much more thoroughly through your own mistakes. Work in pencil all the time, a nice sharp pencil. I use a mechanical pencil so it stays sharp. And then it doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just erase it out and have another go. So we'll have a look at this together now and check through these answers. So question 1, we're asked to add time signatures to these 5 melodies. So 5 separate melodies requiring 5 different time signatures. So our first job is to decide what the bottom number is going to be. What unit beat are we going to be counting in? Are we going to be counting in quavers, eighth notes, crotchets, quarter notes, or minims, half notes? So let's have a look at this first one. I think this last bar perhaps helps us most quickly. And we can see here that we're counting in minim beats or half notes, because if we're counting in quaver or crotchet beats, there's just too many beats and it just doesn't fit. So if we're counting in minim beats, our bottom number is 2 half notes. There we go. Just sort the lead out. There we go. And then, now we've done all the hard thinking, deciding that we're counting in minim beats, and now we just need to decide how many minim beats or half notes per bar. I'm going to look at this last bar first just because it seems the easiest. So there's one. A dotted crotchet and a quaver gives us another, because that's kind of 3/4 and a quarter of our unit beat. And then these 4 give us another one here, because if I just diagram this out, we can see that a minim divides into 2 crotchets, 4 quavers or eighth notes, and then also we can see that here there's 1 crotchet beat, and then half as much with the quaver gives us the other crotchet beats worth. There's our minim beat. Let's have a look at the next bar here just to double check. So we can see we've got 1 beat here. There's a crotchet, a quarter note, and then half of this gives us another one here. So those 2, the dot and the crotchet, the dot and the quarter note, give us another minim beat, and there's 1. So it's 3 minim beats, 3/2. There we go. Let's have a look at this next one. Again, we'll look at the second bar first, just so that we're not confused by this dotted note. So we know, if we just extend this diagram, that a quaver or an eighth note divides into 2 semiquavers. Just finish that little chart. There we go. And so we know that 4 semiquavers, 4/16 notes, is the same as 1 crotchet, 1 quarter note. So if we think we're going to be adding up in quarter notes or crotchets, our bottom number is going to be 4. And so we can see we have 1 crotchet note here, 1 crotchet beat or 1 quarter note, and there's 1 as well. So we have 2/4. Let's check this bar here first. So here we have 1 beat, 1 quarter note, 1 crotchet beat. Now here we know that 2 quavers equal a crotchet, and so here we have 1 quaver, 1/8 note, and then this is half as much again, which with this one it's like seeing 2 semiquaver beats here, adds up to our crotchet. And actually, if you find that difficult, the way I visualise it is, there's our whole beat. Let's divide it into 4. We have half a beat here, a dot is half as much again, leaving us with the last quarter there. So we have 3/4 and a quarter. So yes, 2/4. Alternatively, if you wanted to extrapolate the maths, you could also say 4/8, because we have 1 quaver beat, 1 quaver beat, and that also divides into 2 quaver beats. So 4/8 would also be acceptable. I think 2/4 is pretty obvious either way. So either of those will do. Let's press on to the next one. So don't be confused by a triplet sign. Remember, that just means 3 in the time of 2. So really the maths that we're looking at, instead of 3 crotchets, 3/4 notes, it's in the time of 2 crotchets or 2/4 notes. So that's now much easier to see the maths of it. And so again, we can be counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes. Our bottom number is number 4. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4/4. Let's check this bar here to double check. So we have 1 beat here, and we've already done the maths here. We can see we've got 3/4 and a quarter, which gives us a beat. And also remember that they're beamed in units, so that's beamed in a crotchet beat. And then we have 2 crotchet beats, 2/4 notes there. So 1, 2, 3, 4/4. And again, you could change the maths, and instead of thinking 4/4, 2/2 would do the same job, counting 2 minute beats. 1 minute beat, 2 minute beats. So either of those will be acceptable. Let's look at the next one. And so now, if we're thinking in quarter notes, crochet beats, or minims, half notes, that's not going to work, because if we count it in crochet beats, we've got 1.5, and if we're trying to count it in minute beats, we've not got enough. We've only got 3/4 of a minute beat here. We're going to have to count this in quavers. So our bottom number is 8 quaver beats or 1/8 notes, and then we can see that fits in nice and easy. We have 1, 2 semiquavers, 2 16th notes, make an 1/8 note, 2 semiquavers make a quaver. So there's our next beat. 1, 2, 3, 3/8. And if we just check this bar again, a dot after a note makes it half as long again. So we've got 1 quaver beat here. Half of that is the equivalent of a semiquaver or a 16th note, which with this one here gives us another quaver beat. And then there's our third quaver beat. 3/8 is the answer for that one. Let's have a look at this last question. So we'll look at this bar. So 3 in the time of 2 just simplifies it to that, and we can see that it works in just right, counting in quarter notes or crochet beats. So our bottom number is going to be 4. And then here we have 1 beat, 2 quavers, 2 1/8 notes gives us a beat. So there's our next crochet beat, our next quarter note, and 1 there. 1, 2, 3/4. Let's see this one. So there's 1 beat. We know that 1, 2, 3, 4 semiquavers for 16th notes gives us a crochet, a quarter note. So there's our next beat. And again, it's confirmed by the fact that it's grouped in that. They're showing us 1 unit beat in the grouping, the way it's beamed. And there's our third beat. So that's that completed. Let's move on to the next question. And so, question 2 is asking us to rewrite these given notes from the treble into the bass clef, keeping the pitch the same. That's the trick that you've got to watch out for. We don't want to be jumping octaves. The first answer is given, so that will give us a bit of a clue. However, if you keep middle C as your anchor point, then you're not going to go wrong. So if you visualise middle C on a piano keyboard, it comes at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass, you're meeting in the middle. So middle C is at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass. And here we can see we've got the C, D, E, F sharp above middle C. And so we're going to have to carry on with the ledger lines, C, D, E, F sharp above middle C. And that way we know that we've got the correct octave and we're not 1 or 2 octaves out. And so here, there's the very note in question. There's middle C at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass. So that's our middle C, and we just need to sharpen it. So here in the treble clef, we have the C, B, A, G below middle C. And so if we're working from middle C, C, B, A, G below middle C, that's the correct pitch there. And then here we can see we're actually 1 note lower than we were given here, so that will help us to double check. But there's middle C, we're on the B below that, the next door note down. And if you find it hard to visualise the order of the notes, you could just always sketch out a piano keyboard so you can see the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C and so on. It doesn't have to be a work of art, it just helps you to visualise. And so there's the B below middle C. There's our middle C line, as it were, and we need to be the B below that. And we can tell we're just 1 step below what we did here to double check. And then here we're going the other side of middle C, and so we have the next door note up from middle C, C, D. So there's our middle C. The next door note up, the other side of middle C is D. Oh, got a bit carried away there. Let's just tidy that up. There we go. So there's the D above middle C. So that's that part done. So now we've just got to finish this little part of the question here. Name the major key in which all of these notes are found. And so our clues here are the sharps. And so we have an F sharp here, and we have a C sharp here. And so the major key, which has a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. So just a bit of revision here to go over your key signatures. And that will then tell you that we're in the key of D major. And that's that question completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. These past papers are an excellent revision resource. I hope it's helping you to get to grips with this music theory. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.